G'day, you're at the lab. We're smashing the engine back together for this BCM behind me here. The old, well, it's really hard to see, that thing. Got our engine block back from Gus at the engine shop. He said if the weather was crappy on Saturday morning, he'd go in and get that done for me. The weather was good on Saturday morning, and he still went in, so cheers to Gus. That's hugely appreciated. Gives me the opportunity to put this thing back together and get some stuff out of boxes and off shelves and into the crankcase. Done. So what Gus did for us, it's called decking the block. There's a little bit of fluid on there from me washing it. Don't worry about that. It's not a mark or anything. So you basically just machine these surfaces here and make sure they're all flat. We'll have a better look at that when it's up the right way. At the moment, I'm doing the first step. I've cleaned all the internals, got rid of all the swarf and all that sort of carry on. Not too fussed about the outside. Might put some paint on it to make it look nicer. Was considering vapor blasting, but I just don't think it's worth the financial investment just to make it look pretty. Don't mind this thrust bearing that's walked its way around there. I suppose the other one will have done the same. He's moved a little wee bit. Right, here we go. So crankshaft's being polished up. It's been in the lathe. I polished where the rear main seal goes, all the main bearing journals and the conrod journals, big end bearings journals, whatever we want to call them. I'm having trouble speaking to England today. Anyway, so that's all done. That's ready to go. There is some wear, if you can see there, tiny little bit of wear on the big ends. Not concerned about it. It's only a minuscule amount. I'm not going to tell you what the numbers are because people will argue about it, but it's fine. Did consider line boring the block. Had a bit of a look, a bit of a measure. Nah, that'll be fine for me. It's absolutely perfect. There is some evidence of a little bit of fretting here. You can see this is a different color to here. It means the main bearing caps, which are on this table here where I've been cleaning everything. These here, even though they're held by ARP L19 main studs, plus originally we had the factory girdle on there. We've now got our Dynasty one. Don't mind a bit of paper there. Even with all that, these do tend to move around a little bit when you're making whatever this is making, right? So 500 kilowatts at the engine or something like that. Depends what your drivetrain losses want to be. It's 440 kilowatts at the hub. So yeah, when you're making lots and it's only got 4 main caps, can move around a little bit. Don't think it's going to be a problem going forward. We'll steady it up a little bit with that Dynasty main crank girdle. Right, so I'm going to smash all that together, and then we've already got our piston squirters. Don't forget to put those in. Pretty tricky putting them back in later. Get all this stuff on the bottom, and then we can put they are kind of kicking around on the floor. They need their final clean. They need the bearings put into the big ends, and they need the rings put in. But the pistons have been cleaned and all that sort of carry on, so they're nearly good to go. They come off there. Fresh piece of paper on here. We'll clean it all here, and we'll put the new rings and the new bearings in it, and then they go into this. This will probably go on in the engine stand before we get that far. Right. Fast forward a few hours. Got that the right way up. Not yet on the proper engine stand. We'll do that soon. Just lazy, really. I've just transferred it from this bench that we had it on here onto a little trolley, which happens to be the right height to put the attachment onto here and then slip it straight onto the engine stand. So I'm just going to pop the cylinder heads on because it's 4 o'clock and we're running out of time, and I want to say that the actual problem's been resolved. You know, the thing that was wrong is now fixed. The engine's still a million bits, but the thing that was causing the problem is sorted out. That looks like a massive scratch in there, doesn't it? I can't even see it on the camera. Pardon me. Nothing. Is nothing. Right, so we'll put these fake towing head gaskets. They're not fake. Stop calling my stuff fake. This might be sold. You know who you are. This might be sold by the Americans, but it doesn't mean it's inferior quality to the Japanese stuff. Heck, they could be made in Japan, we don't know. Anyway, get those out of the box, pop them on there. I've just put the studs back in, dowels. Cylinder heads, you've got to take the cams off to do the studs up, the nuts, because they're all under there, right? So you've got to take the cams back out. This is why all this stuff here is just loose. I throw those away, well, not throw them away, put them away and chuck them in a container in case I need them later. Considering changing cams, actually, to be honest, but I'll deal with that as I get a bit further along. That puppy is ready to go on there. Everything's spick and span, clean as a whistle. Head's been decked, or skimmed, blocks been decked. They're all good. Haven't cleaned the combustion chambers. Could have. Doesn't really matter, does it? There's not that much build up on there, and that'll be there in 5 seconds as soon as you start it up, so we're good. It'll stay there. Sunday evening. Sunday night, actually, it's 6 o'clock. I've been quite busy, kind of skipped about 6 million steps. This looks really good from here. It's probably not quite as nice as what it looks on the camera, but it's close enough. I should go around and replace some of the hardware that's kind of letting things down a little bit. It's not too bad, but in the scheme of things, you know, if I pull it all out, don't disturb it, the sealant won't have any issues, and then I can send it all off and get it cadmium plated, I guess, make it look super bling bling. I haven't painted the engine block. I was thinking about doing it. We'll make up my mind whether I do that or not. There we go. Spark plugs are in to seal it up. I've run out of my sealant, my 3-bond sealant. Dead. It's gone. I wanted to put that on. That's all ready to go. We haven't got any sealant, so we can't do that. So it'll be chuck a sheet over it again tonight. I could have put the cam sensors in the back, right? But I haven't done that. But getting there, getting close to being ready for the next stage of what we're up to. Looks nice from here. In fact, I'm going to take a photo of that. I might shift some of the junk in the background. Some more things have found their way onto the motor. Still not 100% a motor, and obviously that's not bolted on. Pretty obviously these are custom made, right? So I've made these myself. You can't buy anything that'll do what we want to do with this particular motor in this particular car. So it's a case of figuring stuff out and making it. You can laugh. I'm taking it very, very quietly. You wouldn't normally stack up so many things like this. It could potentially end in disaster. So I've got this running at a very low speed. It's stainless steel anyway, so you want to keep the tool tip speed down. Just making sure this is true. There's no sense in going to all the effort we're going to and bolting this on when there's probably around 1 millimeter of distortion, a bit high in the middle here compared to the outside edges. So I'll just square that up. Hopefully it won't move again too much. There is some evidence that it was leaking at the ends. Don't mind this. This is a mistake I made right back when I was building the very original version. Yeah, a little bit of soot around here that sort of indicates that the ends weren't being clamped down enough and it was leaking out there because the middle was too high. So I'm just very, very quietly giving this a deck or a skim to get that all nice and true. Thinking about putting a pressure sensor port on it or O2 sensor bungs. Not too concerned about, just thinking about it. And of course I'll have to check it's true after doing that as well. Probably enough of that for now. I'm supposed to be doing actual work today. That didn't happen, but never mind. So both those manifolds have been faced, trued up, decked, whatever we want to call it. So they mounted up there nicely. On this side I've gone to the hassle of putting in the extra stud on the end. So normally there'd be just two studs per pipe. On the ends I've put one on each corner just to support it a bit more. We'll do same on the other side. Just haven't got there just yet. Might possibly be something happening with these manifolds anyway. That might go away and get a V-band. Maybe. Make up my mind on that. I was thinking about possibly changing camshafts as well, but probably gone a bit far to do that now. We'll just see how we go. We've got heaps and heaps and heaps of time before we need the car going. Savage Performance coils work beautiful. There's a video on that. I might put a card to show you what we did there to make those work, because they don't just, those are VR38 DETT coils, or whatever the engine from the R35 GTR is. Anyway, that's where those coils come from. So they don't just bolt straight up to your VQ35DE. Want to do something with this. This is not bolted on right, that's why that's wobbly. Want to do something different with my bypass hose, engine cooling bypass hose. Runs under here, even with the fire sleeve on there. She gets pretty hot. Bit burny down there. That stuff's not really rated for that sort of temperatures for fire, not massive amounts of heat continuously. Have been thinking about doing an aluminium tube from here past all this stuff to here somewhere, and do a hose from there. But aluminium tubes have their problems. They work hard and fatigue and crack, and that's the end of your race day. So an alternative would be to change the fitting on the end of the hose here. It comes through the valley. Oh, not sure if you're going to see it with the light. There you go. See the hole at the end there? You can pop through here, and then I'd have to just get it around to where it goes there, which might be more prone to air locking, but we'll see how we go. And we'll move on to the next stage, which will be doing something with the turbos. Obviously I haven't put the inlet manifold on yet. I will do that, and we'll get it back up here in that hole, that big hole there. Ta-da! And there's something going in here as well. We'll get on with that. Alright, cheers boy!